Hi, welcome back to I Am Life Puzzle. I'm Ann Kramer, and today what we're going to look at is the sexual edge. This is the fourth of the edges that we put together through the journey of our childhood. As we've looked at before, the physical, we start around age 2, the emotional around age 7, the thinking edge around age 9, and the sexual edge we start somewhere around puberty, and that can be as young as 9 for some, and others it's going to be more like 16 or 17. There's a broad range. But the process of putting together our sexual edge is how we establish and know ourselves as a sexual being. And when this edge is complete, it reflects that by the time you're going to have a sexual relationship with anyone else, you have respect for your body, you know how to manage your emotions, you make choices, so you take in the consequences of things like STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, or pregnancies, or whatever that is, and also that you take into consideration that the partner that you're engaging in a sexual relationship with, you also assess, does that person have a well-formed physical edge, emotional edge, thinking edge before you engage in sexual encounters. So like all edges, they're both ways, right? If I want mine respected, I must also respect yours. And this is especially true in the sexual edge, that when I know myself, right? And in knowing myself, I also need to find out and discover for myself, what is my sexual preference? Am I homosexual? Am I heterosexual? Am I transgender? What is that? What's right for me? And then also coming to respect what's right for other people. So by the time you are a sexually active being with a potential partner, you know who you are as a sexual being, and you have respect for that person and who they are as a sexual being. You know, we don't do a very good job in this country about really teaching people to know themselves as sexual selves. And all of what we've been really looking at over the last 20, 30 years as we've come out of the closet, where we've expressed ourselves, where we can say finally, I am transgender, I am homosexual, I am heterosexual, whatever that's going to be, has been a really growing time for so many people, because for the longest time, I would say a large portion of the population never got around to completing their sexual edge for themselves, but even more so, unable to respect somebody else's sexual edge because they might have been different. Right? And for so long, people stayed closeted because to say that I was gay was going to create all sorts of problems for myself. But it wasn't so much even for that person to say they were gay. What were they concerned about? That somebody else was going to try and break through their boundary and tell them that they were wrong. And so as they got stronger and knew that they were right, and that self came together, it became a freeing process for that person. But what I've hoped too is you have to understand that it was an engaging process for the other person to say, I can respect anybody else's sexual self, that they take care of their body, they're aware of their emotions, they make conscious choice, and they live out the sexual preferences that are right for them, and they respect my sexual preferences that are right for me. And if we could all do this, right, Life Puzzle just makes it a common universal language that choice of homosexuality, heterosexuality, transgender, lesbian, whatever it is, that choice is that individual person's choice. They have the right for it, and you have your right for it. And that's all we really need to be concerned about. We have a long way to go in this world about that. There's still far too many people who are being bombarded at their sexual edge, or think that they have the right to bombard someone and say, yo, you're wrong, my way's right. The only thing good is the way I am. And that hopefully will continue to change. And as it does, as we build this sexual edge and we have a stronger self, we can then go out into the world and be who we are, and also be happy to let others be who they are. And as we do that, as a strong, sexually active person with respect for ourselves and respect for others, we create a world that can work for everyone. And so, as you put this sexual edge together, we'll look next at the spiritual edge. And as that all comes together, the self comes together. And it's a beautiful way to then walk into the rest of your life puzzle making and take responsibility for who you are. Loving and respecting your body, managing your emotions, making conscious choice in all the areas of your life. living a life that reflects who you are as a sexual being. And you'll see as we get to the spiritual being that it is the last piece in the formation of a true and loving self that can walk this planet with love for self and love for others. A great way to live. Life puzzle, a piece at a time with the whole you in mind.